Hey everybody, this is Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Reliance School. When I was writing my second book, Ultimate Wilderness Gear, one of the sections I wrote about was how to build fire in the rain for hikers, backpackers, canoers, survivalists, and any number of people. What I thought I'd do in this video is go over some of the details that came out in the book, as well as a lot of the interesting things that I found on several different fire starters that will make that job a lot easier. What I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to go through each of these fire starters, as well as we're going to get them started with a lighter. We're also going to get them started with a ferrocerium rod. So I've got a lot of equipment here that I'm going to talk about first, okay? First off, I have the Exotac Titan Light that I'm going to be utilizing as a fire starter, as a lighter. It's a fantastic lighter. It's brand new, coming out this summer. I think you'll love these things. I've also have two brand new ferrocerium rods from Midwest Woodcraft. Check out Midwest Woodcraft if you want these things. They're works of art as well as very functional tools. And just for the heck of it, today I've been carrying everything in my canvas bag made by Campcraft Outdoors. Jason Hunt's a friend of mine. We're teaching some classes together this year, so I thought I'd just throw everything in that bag. So here's what we have. We are going to have a ton of information that relates to what we're going to do here today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assimilate it into a chart form so it's more easily digestible. But let's take a look at each one of these individual pieces, and in that way you can see what we're working with. First up, we have Instafire fire starter. We have trioxane, which is military grade, utilized for sea rations back before MREs were a thing. We have Wetfire from Ultimate Survival Technologies. We have Fastfire from Sokoa. We have Livefire. We have Uberfire, and we have Esbit Cubes. These are the items that we want to take a look at today and see how they perform. All right, so what we have now is we have all those individually wrapped packages behind me. I'm gonna pull them out of their packaging, and then I'm gonna light every one of them with my Exotac Titan Light. We've got them down behind this rock to avoid some of the wind. What we want to do with this segment of the video is show you how long each one of them burn as an individual piece. That way you'll know, hey, if I light this, it's going to last 8 minutes. I'm going to light this, it's going to last 30 minutes or whatever it might happen. So what I also do is I have a temperature gun, and I'm going to take a temperature reading on each one of those after every one of them get burning, and I'm going to have that in the chart as well. So here we go. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to light each one of these individually with the Exotac Titan Light. I started with the Esbit first because from previous experience I know it's incredibly hard. That's Esbit in position number 7 there. I thought I had gotten it lit, but actually it wasn't, as you notice here. I hope you can see we've obviously sped up the timer here, but everything else lit exceptionally easy. And I just grabbed the Esbit to put it in my hand to make it a little bit easier for me to light it. Again, I thought I had it lit, and as you can see, the Esbit in position number 7 wasn't, so I just went ahead and put it into the fire with Uberfire because I knew the Uberfire would get it lit. Now, all of them are going. They've been going now for right at close to 4 minutes now. It looks like the trioxane in position number 2 is not lit. It is lit. It is exceptionally hot. It has a blue flame. It doesn't come off very far from the trioxane itself, so therefore it makes it difficult to see that it's going, but trust me on that, it is going really hot. If you've ever used trioxane, you know what I'm talking about. Again, I'm going to have all this data in here in the chart. You can see me in the top left corner there using the gun. I'm taking measurements of temperature on each one of those, and I did that about 3 times. You'll see my hand come in and out from time to time taking measurements. What I'm doing there is the Instafire in position number 1 kind of gets starved of oxygen if you don't mix it up a bit, so you'll see me stir it a couple times throughout. At this point, we're at 8 minutes in, and the Wetfire is completely out. It's done. It's basically a small piece of charcoal there. You can see everything else is still going. There's some flames on the trioxane in position number 2. You can see it there a little bit. Please note the flame that's coming off position number 7, the Esbit cube. You'll note that it doesn't look real hot. You'll note that in the chart attached to this blog. So at this point we're into position number 10, minute number 10, and everything is still burning. Looks like the fast fire is getting pretty low. That's what's in position number 4. Everything else seems to be going really well. Not a lot of flame coming off position number 1, which is the InstaFire, but it needs to get stirred. Now, here's some things that comes up with UberFire. You'll notice in position number 6, it has gone out, but there is still plenty of life. That's why I stir it up right there, and then I light it again here in just a second. But position number 1, the InstaFire is going. Everything's going still, except the trioxane is now out. It is completely out. Wet fire is out. It is completely out. Everything else is going strong here, and we're at minute 14 almost. So again, just stirring the InstaFire a bit, stirring the UberFire a little bit. You can see the flame on the live fire in position, what is that, 1, 2, 3, position number 5 there. It's real low now. Fast fire is completely out. That's what's in position number 4, completely out. And it looks like UberFire is now dying, but it lights right back up. Number 7, the Esbit, is dead now at 16 minutes in. Live fire is dead. It was dead about 15 minutes in. InstaFire, position number 1, still going strong. UberFire in position number 6, still going strong with a little bit of, I had to light it again and mix it up, but it's still going strong. We're 17, almost 18 minutes into this process. You'll see I just lit it again, the UberFire, but it went out. That's because it's almost gone at 18 minutes. Yeah, so I hope you liked seeing how all those played out. Some of them burned quite a bit longer than the others. Again, I'm gonna have all that information in the chart that is attached to the blog. That way it's real easy to recognize which one are which and what's going on with it. What I wanna do now is utilize some ferrocerium rods to see how easy or hard these items are to light. If you're new to ferrocerium rods, a couple things to keep in mind. They always come with a black coating on them to protect them in shipping and any sort of elemental problem, particularly salt water. So first thing you want to do is scrape these and get the black coating off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this big honking one from Midwest Woodcraft to get these started, and we'll see how well that works. But I'm going to get this scraped off and then we'll get going. First up is the InstaFire fire starter. They have grill starters as well. So my technique is to utilize the back of the knife. You'll see me doing that on all of these. Put the ferrule directly into the material. And we're going. That was fairly easy to get that going. The next up is the trioxane from the United States military. Again, this is not what is utilized in current MREs. This is what was utilized in former C rations. So with any cube, you'll see me doing this with all of them, it's always good to scrape up some of the material, and that makes it easier for that to get lit. Same process here. That was super easy to get lit. Trioxane, again, it's probably difficult to see this on camera, but that's incredibly hot, and it is going. It has a blue flame that is difficult to see anywhere unless it's at night, but that is going and it's incredibly hot. That took about 3 or 4 hits. Next up is Fast Fire. I've been utilizing these for years. I absolutely love these things. Again, one of the things you want to do with any cube is to pull only a portion of it off. I like to crush it up almost to a powder. That powder is easier to light than the cube itself by itself. And it's going. The other beautiful thing about Fast Fire is you can put it out. It's cool to the touch nearly immediately, and you can utilize it again. Next up is Wet Fire. Very similar product to Fast Fire, but I think it'll be evident why it's a little bit subpar compared to Fast Fire. I like Fast Fire better. Again, takes very little for it to get lit, and it burns. It's not as easy to put out. This is one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of it. I like the Fast Fire because it's so much easier to put out when I want to put it out, but it burns when I don't want it to. But it burns when I want to and doesn't burn when I don't want it to. But this is wet fire. Next is live fire. Again, one of the things you have to do is there's a tinder material in here. You want to scrape it up and fluff it a little bit and get it tore up a little bit so that it'll make contact with the sparks. Again, I put my ferro rod right to it. Maybe 2 hits on that one. It's wanting to go. And it's going. Again, you want to fluff this up real good. Pull that apart so it's easier to light. But this is pretty easy to get lit. There we go. I didn't have it fluffed up good the last time. 2 hits, 3 hits on that. Rather easy. Because it's in the tin, it's easy to close up, starve the oxygen from it, and then you can reuse it over and over. Next up is Uber Fire. What you have in Uber Fire is you have a little cotton ball in the center, so you want to fluff that up when you get in there, and the other material is down in there. So once you have that fluffed up, which I've burned this one before, put your ferro rod right in it. And it's going. So now that'll burn for quite a while. It was going on the first couple of hits, and because I've utilized this before, it could use a new cotton ball and then it'd be good to go. Next up, and last up, I believe last up, is the Esbit Fire Cube. I have a good idea how this is going to go because I've tried this before, but we'll see how it goes today. Again, any cube, it'll be good to get some finer material off of it first and then try to get that lit. You don't want to try to just straight up light the cube. So this is what I've experienced a number of times with Esbit Fire Cubes. I actually take these to every safety and survival class we teach and challenge people to get them lit with a ferro rod. They're incredibly difficult. It's not impossible, but it's incredibly difficult to get them lit with a ferro rod. So this would be my absolute last choice out of all these that I have. Well, I hope you like that. That gives us a pretty good basis of understanding on how some of these fire starters are going to work. Just keep in mind, you're going to need to reference the blog piece. I'm going to have that chart. That chart's going to be incredibly valuable. I'm going to list the weights in there. I'm going to list the price points for all of them. I'm going to have links for where you can buy each and every one of these. That way, if you're interested, you can pick some of it up. And just as a refresher on what we've utilized today, this is my wax canvas bag from Campcraft, brand new to me. I'm going to be doing a thorough review of that in the coming weeks. The knife that I was utilizing, everybody's always asking about my knife. This is my LT Wright Genesis, fantastic blade, Kydex sheath. And then the ferro rods that I was utilizing today were the big one and the little one. I don't know if he's got a name for them. From Midwest Woodcraft. And last but not least, that super cool lighter. I picked this up at SHOT Show. This is the Titan light from Exotac. All these things I'm going to be doing reviews on in the coming weeks, so come back and check that out as well. As always with Nature Light School, come on, join in. Hey, don't forget, this is just one tiny bit, a tiny bit of what's in my book, Ultimate Wilderness Gear, that is available anywhere books are going to be sold in July, available on Amazon right now, so I hope you pick it up. And that way you can be informed on sleeping bags and trauma kits and first aid and tents and hammocks and shoes and jackets and a lot of stuff. Pick it up. Ultimate Wilderness Gear by Craig Caudill Nature Flying School. Come on, join in. Let's learn together.